video tutorial, we will discuss 6 important rules related to variable names in C programming with examples. In C program, we declare and use variables, functions, labels, user-defined data types according to our program requirement. Any name defined by the programmer is called an identifier. In this program, we are declaring two variables, marks and first underscore name. These are examples of an identifier. All identifiers are defined based on certain naming rules. We have to follow 6 important variable naming rules in C programming. So let's see these 6 important naming rules. Rule number 1. A variable name may consist of letters, digits, and the underscore characters. Based on this rule number 1, these are some of the valid variable names example. Marks, day 1, first underscore name, test underscore 1. These are valid variable names. Example of invalid variable names: factorial hash, average @value, my percentage marks. These are examples of invalid variable names. Use of special characters like @ hash, percentage, ampersand are not allowed while declaring variable name. Let's check rule number 1 with example of C program. This is the program to display marks, and we are creating one variable called marks. This is valid variable because it is created using letters. So let's run this and we'll get our output. We can also use digit into this variable. So if we declare marks 1, this is also valid. Let's try to run this and we will get our output. We can also use underscore letter as rule number 1 says that. So we can declare it like this: my underscore marks, my underscore marks. So this is also valid and we'll get our output. But we cannot use special characters like this: my percentage marks, my percentage marks. And when we try to run this, we will get error because use of special characters under variable names are not allowed. So this is rule number 1. Let's go ahead. Rule number 2. First character of any variable must be either alphabets or underscore. Based on rule number 2, examples of valid variable names are marks, underscore name, underscore 5, a underscore. These are examples of valid variable names because their first character is either alphabets or underscore. Some of the examples of invalid variable names: 1, 2, 3, 5 underscore, 10 underscore value. Now remember that variable names starting with a number is not allowed. Hence these 3 variable names are invalid and they are not allowed under C programming. Rule number 3. Name of variable can't be any reserved keyword of C language. Examples of valid variable names: my underscore int, char1, number underscore float. These are examples of valid variable names. Examples of invalid variable names: int, float, char, if, else, float, while, switch, case. These are examples of some of the invalid variable names because these are the reserved keywords which are used by C programming language. Hence, we cannot use this variable name. Let's check rule number 2 and 3 with examples of C program. Considering rule number 2, marks is valid variable name because it begins with alphabet and we'll be able to run this program. We can also begin a variable name with underscore. So this is also valid and we will not get any error. Let's run this. So this is valid. But we cannot begin a variable name with a number. So 1 underscore mark. This is not allowed and we'll get error. So don't declare variable name which is starting with a number. Now rule number 3 says that we cannot use reserve keyword. So let's try to declare a variable name like this. Float. Float is one of the reserve keyword. Hence, we cannot use float as a variable name. Similarly, there are a lot of such reserve keyword like care, for, while. These all are reserve keyword which are used by C programming language for internal processing purpose. Hence, we cannot use reserve keyword as a variable name and we will get error. Rule number 4. Name of variables are case sensitive. Hence, lowercase number and uppercase number are considered as two different variables. And hence, we can declare two variables like this, number and number. This is valid. Rule number 5. ANSI standard recognizes a length of total 31 characters for a variable name. It's recommended to use meaningful and short variable names like int, test1, test2, float, percentage. Avoid very long variable names as shown below. So avoid this kind of very long variable names. Rule number 6. Use of whitespace character is not allowed while declaring variable name. Now what is whitespace? In computer programming, any character or series of characters that represents horizontal or vertical space, they are called whitespace character. Examples of whitespace characters are space, tab, line feed, that is new line character, and carriage return. Based on rule number 6, examples of invalid variable names are int, my, space, marks. So here between my and marks there is a space. Hence this is invalid variable name. Summary of variable naming rules. Variable name consists of letters, digits and underscore character. First character must be either alphabet or underscore. Variable name can't be any reserve keyword. Name of variables are case sensitive. ANSI standard recognizes length of 31 characters. Use of whitespace character is not allowed.